Lakers fans, I need you to do something for me before this video goes 1 second further. Stop scrolling, put the phone flat on the table for just a moment. Because what I watched go down on NBA Today this afternoon is the kind of thing that 10 years from now you're gonna say, I remember exactly where I was when I heard it. And I'm telling you right now, by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you the one detail and one tiny thing that leaked out 40 minutes after the report that proves this is not clickbait, not a rumor, not some blog throwing names at a wall. It's real, so stay with me, because if you click off early, you're going to miss the part that flips this entire story on its head. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content, every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Here's how my afternoon went. I'm sitting there half paying attention. Malika Andrews is running the show. They're doing the usual off-season carousel talk. Who's getting traded? Where's LeBron going? Is the front office going to chase a center? The same conversation we've all had 900 times since OKC sent us home. And then it happened. Shams Charania, ESPN, phone basically glued to his hand, leans into the camera, and he doesn't do the slow build. He just says it. Jordan Poole is heading to the Los Angeles Lakers. And the whole set went quiet. Malika did the double take, and Shams looks dead into the lens and goes, I'm told this is real, and you can hold me to it. That's the phrase. You can hold me to it. When an insider stakes his name like that, in June, on national television, that's not a guess. That's a man who already made the call to confirm it. Now, I know what half of you are doing right now. You're yelling at your screen. Jordan Poole on the Lakers, and I get it. Nobody had this on their board. Nobody. We were all sitting here assuming the Lakers were going to chase a rim protector, a lob threat, somebody to clean up around Luka. That was the entire offseason plan as we understood it. So when Shams dropped Poole's name, it didn't compute. It felt like he read off the wrong card. But here's the thing, and this is where I need you to lean in, because once I walk you through the why, you are not going to be able to unsee it. This makes too much sense. It's the kind of move that's so obvious in hindsight that you'll be mad you didn't predict it yourself. So let's investigate. Let's actually break this down like adults instead of just reacting. I've got 3 reasons this works, and I'm telling you up front, the third one is the reason the front office actually pulled the trigger, and it's the one nobody on television talked about. So do not leave before reason number 3. Reason number 1. Think back to the playoffs. Actually, don't think too hard, because it hurts. We got swept. 4 games, second round, OKC gone. And why? Because Luka Doncic never played a single minute of that series. The hamstring. Our best player, the guy who led the entire league in scoring this year, was in a suit on the bench the whole time, and the rest of the roster had no idea how to manufacture a bucket without him. Austin Reeves was out there on an island getting hunted, trying to create everything by himself, and there was nobody on who could just take the ball and go get a shot when the offense broke down. That's the wound. That's the thing that's been keeping this front office up at night. And what is Jordan Poole at his absolute core when you strip everything else away? He is a guy who can get his own shot in 3 dribbles, off the bounce, off a screen, off nothing. That is the exact specific surgical thing this roster did not have when it mattered most. Pause and think about that. We didn't lose because we lacked a center. We lost because when the star went down, the lights went out. Poole is an insurance policy against the lights ever going out again. Reason number 2, and this is the part the haters conveniently skip. Jordan Poole is 26 years old. He turns 27 in about a week. He is not some washed veteran on his last legs. This is a former NBA champion. He's got a ring from 2022, who just 2 years ago in Washington was putting up north of 20 points a game and shooting it from deep at a clip you'd kill for. The only reason he looks buried right now is the New Orleans fit was a disaster from day one. They brought in a rookie guard who took his spot. DeJounte Murray came back from injury. The guard room got crowded, and Poole got squeezed out and parked on the bench in a city that had absolutely no idea what to do with him. That's not a talent problem. That's a situation problem. And the Lakers, ladies and gentlemen, are in the reclamation business. They look at a guy like this, and they don't see what New Orleans gave up on. They see a 26-year-old microwave scorer they can buy at a discount because the market soured on him for reasons that have nothing to do with whether he can play. That is value. That is how smart teams operate. And before I get to reason 3, because I promised you reason 3 is the one that matters, hit me in the comments right now. Tell me your honest gut first reaction take. Are you in or are you out on Jordan Poole in the purple and gold? Because I have a feeling the comment section is about to be a war zone and I want to see both sides. Okay, reason number 3, the part nobody talked about. Here's what makes this real, and here's the part that's actually a little bit funny. Everybody knows the Lakers have no cap space. None. They're capped out, they've got limited trade chips. They can't just sign a guy like this. So how does Poole on a $34 million salary end up in Los Angeles? You don't do it with money you don't have. You do it with a trade, and the framework that leaked, the structure that's being discussed, has the Lakers sending out salary to make the math work. We're talking about moving a useful rotation piece, attaching an expiring contract, and tossing in draft capital to sweeten it for a New Orleans team that desperately wants to get off Poole's number and reset their books. Think about it from New Orleans' side for 1 second. They are rebuilding around their young guards. They do not want a 27-year-old shooting guard making $34 million who's already been benched twice. They want flexibility. They want picks. They want to move on. So both sides have a reason to say yes. The contender gets the scorer at a discount. The rebuilder gets the relief and the assets. That is a deal that closes. And the moment you understand that both front offices have a motive, you stop asking, would this happen? And you start asking, why hasn't it happened already? Stop, rewind that in your head. Both sides win, that's why this has legs. Now, you want the skeptic's view, because I'm not here to just sell you a fantasy. Let me give you the other side, because the other side showed up loud. They cut to a first take clip, and Stephen A. Smith, you already know, Stephen A., is in full theatrical meltdown mode. He's leaning back, he's got the hands going, and he goes, Jordan Poole? On the Lakers? You're putting a guy who plays no defense next to a Luka Doncic, who you also have to hide on defense? You're gonna get cooked. Who's guarding anybody? And honestly, it's a fair point. That's the real risk here. Two ball-dominant offensive guards, neither of whom is going to win Defensive Player of the Year anytime soon, sharing a backcourt. If you don't have the right pieces around them, you get scored on for 48 minutes. But here's my rebuttal, and here's the chess move the front office is making. Marcus Smart, we've got him. Bounce back season, team-friendly deal, and the man is a former Defensive Player of the Year. You stagger him with that backcourt, and suddenly the defensive math isn't nearly as scary. You've got LaRavia, who played all 82 games and can hold up on the wing. The structure exists to absorb a player like Poole defensively. Stephen A. is reacting to the headline. The front office is looking at the rotation. Those are two very different things. And by the way, JJ Redick, our head coach, was one of the best shooters of his entire generation. You really think the guy who built his career on movement, shooting, and spacing is going to look at a knockdown scorer like Poole and go, no thanks, come on. That's a coach who knows exactly how to weaponize a shooter like this. Now here's where the story gets spicy, and here's the open loop I've been holding this whole time. I told you at the start there's one detail that proves it's real. Here it is. About 40 minutes after Shams went on the air, the timing of all of this started to make people's jaws drop because we are sitting right on top of the most important window of the entire offseason. Reeves, Ayton, and Smart all have a decision to make on their contracts before the league year flips. The draft is happening in Brooklyn in a matter of days, and free agency negotiations open at the end of the month. Shams didn't drop this in the dead of summer when nothing's going on. He dropped it right as the dominoes are about to fall, which is exactly when real deals get reported. Because real deals get reported when the people involved are actually in the room hammering them out. The timing isn't random, the timing is the tell. Insiders don't fire off a name like this for fun in the middle of the busiest 2 weeks on the calendar unless something is genuinely cooking behind closed doors. That's the detail. That's the thing that turned this from interesting into this might actually be happening. And let me say the quiet part out loud because it's a little bit hilarious. The Lakers have become a magnet for guys the rest of the league wrote off. Every summer, it's the same energy. When I'm find the talented player who fell out of favor somewhere else, scoop him up, bet on the bounce back. They collect reclamation projects like they're filling out a card collection. And you know what? It keeps kind of working, so why would they stop now? Pool is just the latest, shiniest, most likely to go for 35 on a random Tuesday version of that strategy. There's a world where this man drops 40 in crypto in February, hits the logo dagger, turns to the crowd, and the entire building loses its mind, and we all forget we were ever skeptical. That's the dream scenario. That's the upside that makes a front office willing to take the swing. But, and I have to be honest with you, there's a nightmare scenario too. There's a version where the defense is a sieve, where he and Luka can't figure out who's got the ball, where the spacing gets clogged and the whole thing turns into hero ball that goes nowhere in April. That's the gamble. Every move like this is a coin flip between genius and what were they thinking? And the front office is betting the floor is high enough and the ceiling is high enough that it's worth the flip. With Luka locked in for years, with the championship window only as wide as LeBron's remaining time, you cannot afford a quiet offseason. You have to swing, and swinging at a 26-year-old former champion who can pour in buckets? That's a swing I can live with. So let me bring it all home because I want to leave you with something to chew on. Jordan Poole to the Lakers checks the box that hurt us most in the playoffs. A guy who can create offense when the star is off the floor, or God forbid, hurt again. It's a buy low on real talent. The trade math works because both sides have a reason to deal. And the timing, dropped right in the teeth of the offseason's busiest stretch, is exactly what a real report looks like. The risk is the defense, and the answer to the risk is the rotation around him. That's the whole story. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and this is what the next video is about, so make sure you're subscribed because you do not want to miss it. If this deal goes through, and if the Lakers actually land Poole, it sets off a domino that's even bigger than this. Because the second this becomes official, it tells you exactly what the Lakers plan to do with LeBron, with the rest of the roster, and with the rest of their summer. One move like this is never just a move, it's a signal. And I've got a theory about the signal it's sending that I think is going to blow your mind, but that's for next time. For now, drop your reaction in the comments, tell me if I've lost my mind or if I'm right. Smash that like button if you want the follow-up the second the news breaks, and I'll see you in the next one. Lakers fans, buckle up, this summer is about to get loud.